The opening contest, actually not a contest, the opening segment, it was a contest between my eyes as to whether I could keep them open or not, was Hangnail Page coming to the ring and doing his promo about the big AEW World Title match and his chance at Dick the Boozer. And he had his stink face on as usual, but he had some conviction to this. He called it the AEW Men's World Championship again, which again is such odd terminology that nobody else says. Do we think he's going for Mercedes until we realize it's the men's title he's talking about? What is he confused somehow as to which one he should be going for? But anyway, while I thought that this was still kind of memorized, overly dramatic material that he comes up with in his head, he gave it more oomph than normal. He didn't fumfer. And as I said, he had some conviction in his voice, so it wasn't bad. And he wants to make it a Texas death match at All In. It's the first match they've had. Did they wrestle each other a few years back? Whatever. This is the big, why do they need to make this match the ultimate blow-off match? Not like I want to see it again either, but you see what I'm saying, Brian?
Yeah. Well, even
can't they just have a fucking match?
But even if you did want to make it that, I think there needed to be more reasoning for it to be a Texas death match other than, I've decided it should be this.
Well, they're in Texas. So what else could it be? So he wants to make it a Texas death match. Well, then here comes Dick the Boozer and Marina Schaefer, and they stagger on through the crowd, and they get the ring, or into the ring, and at least Moxley does. Every time he gets in the ring, he brings the energy level down some way, doesn't he? Because he's feeling like he's being so intense because he's so into this character that nobody understands, nobody gives a shit about, and he's a wannabe tough guy, but he's so into it that he thinks he can take the dramatic pauses or the verbal meanderings around the fucking mulberry bush, and everybody's going to hang on it, I guess, because that's the way he's acting. But in the meantime, he never fucking says anything. That he says a lot, but if you write it down and try to figure it out afterwards, and he says Paige won't win because he doesn't want to win. There's too much pressure. You can't handle that. You really don't. You want the secondary title. And the fans were chanting, shut the fuck up. I think they meant it. And then he wants to take a joust, I guess, at apparently Moxley's still butthurt at Punk's existence. I don't know what else could have come. Because Punk, has he had the occasion to speak of Moxley? Or did Moxley just throw it in? People call themselves the best in the world. Well, that's basic bitch shit. I'm so much more than that. What? You're not even that.
It's weird because you could tell it was a forced line, and it was one that he thought about, and he had the line ready, but then he kind of stumbled out of it. It was the only time.
Well, yeah, he gave it, and then he started to try to get back into his promo, and he fumfered because maybe he was just proud of himself. But besides the fact that verbally he's throwing rocks at a man with a machine gun, what is the purpose? Otherwise than they're just still butthurt that the guy that could draw him some ratings left. Anyway, he rambled for a while and he strained like he was constipated. And then he told Paige that a Texas death match would be the end of it. And then Paige gave him a pissy girl slap that didn't look even as good as the girl that actually slapped Paige here in a minute. But he slaps Moxley. Moxley staggers and sells that and then double legs him and they have a fight. And old Wheeler comes in and nails Paige, and Schaefer comes in, and that's when she slapped him harder than Paige slapped Moxley, and then twice, and then 3, 4, and 5 times. And then Paige just stood there like, I really want to do something to you. Claudio came in. They tackled Paige. They got some sloppy and stationary heat on him, ripped his clothes off, gave him a big pedigree, and left him laying in the ring, right? And they walk out. And then Paige gets back up and gets the microphone. Is that the best you can do? Have you had enough yet? Do you want some more? I used to do that as a heel line for the manager to get his heat back. I'd get up off my face, blown up, having had the shit kicked out of me. I said, have you had enough yet? So then Claudio goes back, but Samoa Joe is there at ringside to block him off. And then Hobbs joins Joe, but Marina Schaefer comes in and swings the case at Paige. But Paige grabs it. And then he tells Moxley to okay the Texas death match. And I'm like, this is fucking endless. And Moxley says, okay, because now he's pissed, and he leaves. And then Paige talks more, and Marina Schaefer is obviously standing in the ring for no reason. All her people have left. She's got her back turned to Paige, and she's not moving. And then Paige says, oh, I forgot one thing. And then jumps over the top, and she turns around, and he buckshot lariats her, and that gets a big pop. Because she's been doing all this shit to the guys for so long. Yes, anybody gets their hands on her, that's Wrestling 101. But now have we established that we can have a 230-pound guy buckshot lariat a woman on national cable television? This is the same network that sent us a memo in WCW 35 years ago about gratuitous violence on the gratuitous violence program.
You weren't allowed to use the term foreign object.
That's where the term international object came from. But it was so Marina got buckshotted, and they're going to have a Texas death match and all this. What else can Moxley do? He can't be constrained by the rules of an athletic endeavor. Elsewise, a Home Depot guy chokes him out in a 2-man jiu-jitsu tournament.
If that's the last match of the night, too, they're going to have the crowd all burned out by the time they even get to it.
Well, they could put it on early. Actually, you know what? How about this? I'm going to give right now Tony Khan, because he's got the budget. He can do anything. Have 2 rings. And in one ring, have the Texas death match and have it go 62 falls and last for 4 hours and 15 minutes. In the ring next to it, have the rest of the goddamn show at the same time. And it could be the first time that one match lasted longer than an entire card, but you don't have to keep the people there for 9 hours. What do you think?
Man, that Moxley promo was nonsensical. He's coming out there, the big bad heel. His issue with Paige is that he doesn't want it bad enough. He's like, you're not bad. The guy burned another guy's fucking house down on TV. And he's about to clothesline your valet. So, I mean, the argument, it was just ridiculous. Of all the issues to raise.
He's a blood drinker, for God's sake.
Of all the issues to raise, that was the one Moxley went with? The whole, I want you to be better. You have to want it more. You're happy. What the fuck? What an idiot.
So I can't wait for that contest there at the big pay-per-view.
AEW has really been pushing it with the violence, with the action from men and women. They were teasing it with Willow and Wheeler Yuta. I think Moxley did something to Willow. This was his this was the baby face giving his finisher. It wasn't like, oh, someone got out of the way. No, he intended to do it. It's a very interesting strategy.
Well, but here, and it got a pop. Here's the thing. They're probably safe with this because anybody watching this program now, it knows what they're watching and doesn't give a shit because it's all wrestling and it's the silly, phony wrestling crowd. And every wrestling crowd will pop on the heel valet getting the shit knocked out of her if she's got it coming because she's done all these things. But nobody's going to call the goddamn network out of this crowd. No innocent bystanders are watching this program at this point. So it's hard to think that anything they do will offend the people that are watching, because they already know if the fucking presentation of the wrestling doesn't offend them, probably nothing else is going to. That's my belief. But sooner or later, the guy from Bristol Myers or fucking Campbell's Soup or whatever the fuck is going to goddamn accidentally see something and go, what in the hell is going on?
See, that's the thing. It's one thing the AEW fans accepting it, and you have to wonder if they would accept it if it was on the other show. But if WWE did something where Seth Rollins gave a curb stomp to Rhea Ripley, would sponsors speak up? Would fans be in outrage?
More sponsors than fans, they don't want to chance it, because with a lot of these big corporations paying millions of dollars, you can't just, well, I'm sorry, we won't do it again. Well, you know, we had second thoughts about this whole thing to begin with, this crazy fucking shit you people do. So, but anyway, you know what? Here's the thing though, instead of just doing it for free, you could have goddamn worked a deal that's the first time anybody's really gotten Marina. So you could have worked a deal where if so-and-so beats Moxley, he gets 5 minutes with Marina. And people would pay to see that. And then fucking clothesline her and knock her silly. It just, here on TV for free, right before we go, boom. Let's get the first babyface shot at the girl that's beat up every man on the roster.
See, I think they can get away with that because it was not spontaneous, but it was something that kind of happened in the moment. If they actually had it as a stipulation for a match, I think that's where people would probably...
No, then it's on pay-per-view.
No, people would say that's a step too far, I think.
Oh, good God.
I do. I think that, yeah.
If he did the same exact thing, I'm not saying beat her up for 5 minutes and then give it to her. I'm saying just do the same thing on pay-per-view with the people knowing that there's a tease, there's a chance that he's going to get his hands on Marina Shafir and make her pay for all that stuff, and then do the same goddamn thing. $1 shot, boom, and there you go.
I think it would be a draw if you could do it, but if you did it, the outcry would be too much, I think.
Oh, good Lord.